Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today guys, it is a Friday. I'm home, I'm relaxing. To be honest with you, I really don't want to go out like at all. So I was thinking, I really wanted pizza because obviously it's a Friday. I really want to treat myself, you know, I want to keep it good vibes and all, you know what I mean. So I was like, well, I have leftover chicken. I have cheese, I have puff pastry, I have barbecue sauce, I have really any type of sauce that I really need. So I was like, you know what, let's spice it up and do something really interesting. And I thought, oh my goodness, I know what I'm gonna do. I am gonna do a puff pastry tart chicken pizza with ranch dressing because y'all, that combination is amazing. I'm using leftovers and nothing's going to waste. No waste, crew. Hi. So this is why I really wanted to make this recipe, and I'm gonna film it. You know, it's really super simple. It's something that honestly anybody can make. And what I love about this is that it's actually kind of different. I'm not gonna say it's better than pizza, but honestly, who doesn't love puff pastry? Who doesn't love that flakiness, that butteriness, that crust with like that shredded chicken with that cheese? And you know, me, because I love ranch, obviously I'm gonna top it off with like a ranch drizzle, but you can definitely top it off with whatever you want. This is honestly just an epic meal that I seriously love. And like you see in the video, it is just super simple, you know. And yeah, that is this week's video. My beautiful pizza tart with shredded chicken, barbecue sauce. You know what? Scratch that. We're just gonna call it a puff pastry barbecue chicken pizza with a little bit of that ranch drizzle on top of it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this recipe for this week, and if you want to see more of these dinner inspos and lunch inspos and you know what to eat on a Friday, then just go ahead and DM me, comment down below, and I will see you next week. Remember guys, keep it a good vibe. Ciao! The main ingredients for this recipe are frozen puff pastry, preferably store-bought, obviously our shredded chicken, 1.5 cups, your favorite barbecue sauce, your cheese of choice, and let's get started with the puff pastry part. Now honestly, I love using store-bought puff pastry. It's simple and it is absolutely delicious. So what I did is actually I thawed this puff pastry sheet for one whole day, but I left it in the fridge while it was thawing for the whole day. I think it's just much more easier to handle. As you'll see, I literally opened it up just like a book, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my sharpest knife and I'm just gonna go right down the middle. And like you'll see, you won't really even have to worry about it because most puff pastries already have like a line that you'll see in the video, and that is my first sheet of puff pastry. Now we're not going to roll this out. We don't have to do this because honestly, when it gets baked and when we poke those holes in the fork, this is just going to turn this puff pastry super crispy, super delicious. And we want to, you know, more of a little bit of a thick side. Remember, it is puff pastry, so we're going to have different layers of buttery goodness. And like you'll see, I'm just going to repeat the same thing. My suggestion, just make sure you're thawing your puff pastry a day before in the fridge so it is easier to handle. I'm opening it up like a book, seeing where I can get at least 3 slices going so I can have myself 3 slices of pizza, obviously to share, to meal prep, or just to, you know, eat. And what we're gonna do again is we're gonna get our sharpest knife and we're just gonna slice right in those creases so we can create 3 separate sheets of pizza. My preferred method is aligning a large sized baking sheet or cookie sheet with parchment paper or a non-stick foil or your baking mat of choice. And this is really just gonna help it once it bakes in that oven. It's gonna be an easy cleanup and you're going to be able to take that pizza out with no problem onto your plate or your cutting board. Brush the tops of your puff pastry with your oil or butter of choice. Just make sure it's melted and ready to be brushed. This is actually going to add a nice, I would say, golden brown crispy color. So this step to me is actually crucial and super important. And repeat the same process of brushing your oil on top of each and every single one of your puff pastries. Using your fork, start by poking small holes all over your puff pastry sheets. Now let's head on to the toppings. Thinly sliced red onions, your favorite barbecue sauce, red pepper flakes, dried oregano, mozzarella cheese, gouda cheese, or pepper jack cheese make these toppings unbelievably amazing. Spread a thin layer of barbecue sauce in the middle and spread evenly. Once done, repeat it for all the puff pastry sheets. Just a heads up, I did save a little bit of the leftover barbecue sauce because I will be using that to mix it up with the shredded chicken. Like I always say, each layer needs to have a bit of flavor, and obviously shredded chicken, if it's breast, you know it's not going to have that flavor punch. So we just want to make sure we add a little bit of more leaven, and that's what I'm going to do next. I'm adding that shredded chicken into a bowl, and I'm adding the leftover barbecue sauce on top of it and just mixing it up. And honestly, that little step is such a difference that it's really something that people don't think about, but it's something so crucial that really helps out with the flavoring of each little ingredient and step, seasoning and flavoring each time you do something. And just the last touch, I'm going to add a little bit of salt like you saw, and I'm just going to mix it once again, and we are ready to get this show on the road. Now start by evenly spreading your seasoned chicken onto the puff pastry sheets. Now I'm just gonna do a little fast forward because it will take a little bit of time, but this is the part where your skills come in. If you want to add more chicken, add more chicken. If you want to add a little bit less chicken, then just add less chicken. And now for the last part of the toppings. Like you'll see here, I have shredded Gouda cheese, I have shredded mozzarella, I have sliced scallions, optional, dried oregano, and red pepper flakes. That is also optional because I know a lot of people don't like that spicy note, but trust me, it gives it that beautiful, nice kick. And now for the cheesy goodness, start by adding 1 cup of fresh shredded mozzarella or grated mozzarella on top of your pizza sheets. Now for this recipe, I did use exactly 1 cup to fill this deliciousness up, but honestly, I mean, if you want to have more cheese, go for it and have more cheese. And next, we are adding in my favorite, shredded Gouda cheese. But remember, if you don't have Gouda, you can stick with cheddar cheese. A Vermont cheddar would be amazing. So as the pepper jack. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier in the video, but pepper jack cheese would be amazing. Like I said, shredded or grated, whatever you have available. And finally, this is the piece of resistance. This is the sliced onions. Red thinly sliced onions. Honestly, this is the best in my opinion. Acidic, tangy, crunchy. This just really makes it outstanding. And lastly, we're just going to be adding in our dried oregano and our dried red pepper flakes. And this is pretty much the recipe. Super simple and super easy, and just look at all of those fresh flavors. Place these pizzas in a 400-degree Fahrenheit oven, and we are going to bake this for 10 to 15 minutes. Now, I say 10 to 15 minutes because we all have different ovens and different ovens work at different temperatures. But from my experiments, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes or until golden and crispy and brown, until everything is melted and the puff pastry is done, will let you know that this is done. And now look how beautifully crisp and easy these come out. And I cannot stress to this enough, parchment paper is a lifesaver. If you don't want to use foil and if you don't have a baking mat, parchment paper will be your best friends. At this point, you can pretty much just serve it up. But, you know, I want to do a little bougie, I want to do a little extra. So we're actually going to place these in a cutting board, and I'm going to be adding my favorite toppings. Now, guys, you guys should already know that I am obsessed with ranch dressing. So this just goes perfect with ranch dressing. So my toppings of choice are arugula, because I want to add a bit more of that peppery undertone. We're going to be adding scallions for that tartness, that richness, that zestiness, and finally that creamy ranch drizzle on top. This is an amazing Friday meal, and I literally cannot wait to dig into this. Also, some freshly ground pepper goes divine with this dish. But like I said, the topping is your choice. For example, you can definitely use chopped cilantro, chopped parsley, a little bit even more of those raw red onions sliced up very, very thin. You can always use another dressing of your choice or no dressing of your choice. Ooh, maybe a little bit of truffle oil. I mean, honestly, guys, the options are really endless. So I will leave you with this beautiful B-roll. If you didn't know what B-roll is, it's actually the footage that makes it onto my camera for you guys. If it's a decoration, if it's plating, this is just the behind the scenes. So guys, I hope you enjoy this recipe, and I will see you next week. Ciao.